Andy from Tennis with Andy. So today is just going to be a mixed bag of stuff that's been on my mind. Really fun, really excited to see tennis coming back in Australia. So excited for the new year. So first of all, SwingVision. I mentioned in my, I think it was 1 or 2 posts ago that for me, I don't think SwingVision is worth $150 per year. I think it's a great software, but there are a couple of bugs that were preventing me from continuing with SwingVision. So I just want to address a couple of those. So one was the fact that there's something within the iPhone that does what's called like a variable frame rate. So it changes the frame rate depending on light conditions. And what that ends up happening is like with SwingVision, once you take that video using that variable frame rate setting and you're trying to process it, the video and the sound could get out of sync. And if you're doing any sort of editing or YouTube content creation, that is really bad. So that, and then the fact that the scoreboard issues in terms of, I feel like they should have a customizable scoreboard. Plus, I feel like it's just, for the features that I'm using it for, it's just quite expensive. But let's address the issue about the variable frame rate, and apologies to SwingVision in that this is an iPhone issue, and one where I guess it's not an issue, it's a feature within iPhone. And don't get me started on Apple, but Apple's default setting is to set this variable frame rate on. And one way to change it, you have to go deep into the settings. So you click on settings, you click on camera, you click on record video, and then I think you scroll down and there's a button called auto FPS. So you turn that off, and so it will basically give you a constant frame rate and it'll prevent this from happening. So that's it. I'm still gonna think about whether to get SwingVision or not. I'm gonna research into other alternatives. So next, I've been doing a bunch of racket testing, and I try not to, I don't have that much time to play tennis, but so like when I test rackets, I test rackets that I want to use. So I have 3 rackets that we have here. And I'll give you a quick update on the 3. So the Graphene 360 Plus, Head Graphene 360 Plus Extreme Tour. So I really like this, and I mentioned in my last video the setup that I used, which was 5 grams at 12 o'clock, 4 grams at 3 and 9, and then 5 grams in the handle with the Hydrosorb synthetic grip over it. So that was really good, really consistent shots, but I wanted to try something else as well. So I tried just 5 grams at 12 o'clock and then using a leather grip at the handle and no additional weight. So it ended up coming out to about 342 grams unstrung, or 342 grams strung. It became more headlights, and it gives you a little bit more of that classic feel, better on volleys. You don't get the same sort of easy ground strokes. You really have to focus on applying topspin on your shots. But you do get a very heavy shot, and I really enjoy the serve with the setup using the leather grip and just weight at 12. So I think I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna keep on using the Extreme Tour. Beautiful racket, and I said before, it's my racket of the year. So next, the Wilson Blade V8 1820. So to tell you the truth, I was a bit disappointed with this, in that I really like the V7. The V7 for me was all about first strike tennis, so I think in my life those are the biggest serves I've hit when I was using that racket. And big serves, big forehands. Backhands, with the V7, I was getting some pretty good depth and spin with the backhand. Not as much connection with the ball. So I was looking for the V8 to be a bit of an improvement. And the first thing I noticed is that it just seems, it seems like a racket I could just pick up and hit with, but it didn't really seem to have any stellar qualities about it, besides the beautiful look that it has. Forehands were good, precise. I was able to hit one of the flat forehands, nothing overly spinny, but just a nice consistent shot. I didn't try serves. It had good feel on the volleys. Backhands was where I really struggled with this, and like I was able to hit some pretty hard forehands, but backhands were just underwhelmingly underpowered. And it was, maybe if I have time I'll show a couple clips, but I was really swinging out and the ball would land at the service line. And I think Michelle from Tennis Warehouse alluded to how this was a little bit underpowered compared to V7. I know that they brought the swing weight down to make it more user-friendly. I think that this listed swing weight now is at 327 as opposed to the V7, which listed was like 333, but due to quality control issues, you've had swing weights in the high 330s with the V7. But definitely just a lack of any sort of power on the backhand. I mean, this could be probably fixed with some lead tape, but it's the difference between forehand and backhand was just quite startling to me. That like, if you add some lead tape at 12 to give you more power, then maybe you might get too much power on the forehand and just enough on the backhand. So it's to me, I kind of see where they're going, but to me, this was a bit of a letdown. The Wilson Blade V8 1820. So last but not least, the Babolat Pure Strike VS. So I demoed this not because I necessarily wanted to switch to it or start using it. The reason that I would it is because it's just I'm cheap. This is super expensive. I think all these rackets these days, a lot of these rackets are expensive. It's $279. So this was one where I took out this morning, just hit it against my son, and to tell you the truth, it feels really good. It comes with a leather grip, and I think it reminded me of the Babolat Pure Control just by looking at it. A racket that I've had before. So I wasn't too excited about hitting with this just because the Pure Control, when I hit with it, I found it to be a bit underwhelming in terms of power. But picking up this Pure Strike VS, I think it's one of those rackets that's just perfect for me stock as is. It's relatively light in that it's 310 grams unshrunk with the leather grip. So what that means is that for me, it plays like a softer and like 30 grams less weight than the RF 97 Autograph. So I'm still getting like really solid feel on this, but I'm getting tons of spin with my backhand and really good pop on the forehand. I think this is, for those who are classic hitters, this is definitely a must try. I'm not going to do a full review just because I don't have the time, but really like the first impressions with the Pure Strike VS. So that's it with the rackets. One thing that I wanted to mention is for those of you who are, I guess who've ever been taught something or who are churchgoers, like there's something about like, sometimes you hear something so many times, but the one time that you hear it, that's when it kind of clicks. So like, I know for example that on my serve, like, let me bring this. I don't extend my arm fully, and I release it, my tossing arm, and I release it way too soon on the service motion. So you often see me release it like this and serving, when I really should keep it extended so that I could really get that torque into the ball and maximize my power potential. And so listening to Crunch Time Coaching, he was doing a review of Tennis Troll's serve. If you guys don't know Tennis Troll, he's one of the creators based in Atlanta. Excellent content and really excellent community down there. And before I even go into that, like, one thing to note is, like, oftentimes you see match play, you don't really know how fast these guys are serving. But Tennis Troll has a really nice serve. I mean, it comes like with pop, and I could see it from the coaching session that he had with Crunch Time Coaching. But what he was really trying to fix was trying to have Tennis Troll keep that arm up and hold it there. And one thing that really helps sometimes is whenever you have an issue with a stroke, sometimes it's good to overcorrect, right? So for example, if your issue is that for your kick serve, you're not staying sideways enough and you're opening up too soon, right? Sometimes it's good to just say, I'm gonna hit a kick, just stay inside the whole time, right? Not opening up, right? So in this case, I was able to really vibe with the recommendation of keeping my arm up pretty much during the whole service motion, right? Keep it up, swing, and really just exaggerating that, keeping the arm up, right? And what happens in reality, like once you try and put this into match conditions, is that instead of keeping the arm up that whole time, right, you're gonna keep it up much longer, and you're gonna be able to get that coil and natural body movement into the ball instead of me collapsing way too soon. So what that's helped me with is pace, spin, and also preventing the ball from going into the net. So Crunch Time Coaching, thank you so much. Thank you for following this channel, and keep on releasing some really great content. And last but not least, I'm so excited. Tennis is back, Australian Open, and I'm not even sure what this mixed doubles, not mixed doubles, the mixed team tournament is, but it's one where like it's a really good format, and it's interesting to see guys and ladies playing together in a tournament that matters. Like, these results actually count for your points, your record, prize money. So I'm excited to keep on watching some live tennis, and it's good to see Novak back. And whether you're a fan or not a fan, what I do know is that he plays some great tennis, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him play, seeing him, Rafa, compete against the next, I can't remember what number we're on now, but the next generation of players. So this is Andy from Tennis with Andy. Play smart and see results.